or as they say now, WrestleMania Saturday. See, we old school. We call it night one, night two. Now that they go WrestleMania Saturday, WrestleMania Sunday. TFW podcast, live post show. You know how we do it. I am your host, the Bloodline guy, the ones, the final boss fan, Matt. We also have Mrs. I Bring It, the tribal princess.
I'm
Rhodesia.
a queen. I'm a queen, though.
We also have Mr. Fuck Your Story, Brandon. And we got Nightmare Fan E. Cody Crybaby. Oh, man, when wrestling is done right, ain't nothing better. Ain't nothing better. Thank y'all for joining us. We hope you continue to join us. Real quick, throw the socials out. You may be watching us on socials. YouTube, that's Freakin Wrestling. X, that's FNW. Instagram, that's FNW. We come to you guys twice a week. Not live, but you get them on Sundays. You get them on Wednesdays. It's a lot of fun. Get down with us. Tell a friend, tell a friend. We are the best kept secret in wrestling podcast. Now we got that out the way. Let's get right into it. We are not going to break down every single match. We're going to get to the meat and potatoes. We're going to start with this main event. And what I want to talk about to you guys, we can talk from a storyline perspective, but let's start on a real life, what we saw, and kind of get into that. Rock looked pretty damn good out there.
Yeah.
He did.
Looked pretty damn good.
Yes.
They also protected him very well. As soon as they hit that, they went out the ring and threw him over the barricade. I was like, oh, okay, I know what kind of match this is. It's gonna be a lot of punching kicks. Ain't gonna be too many wrestling matches. Ain't gonna be no suplexes off the top rope. Ain't gonna be no enziguris. Okay, I know Rock's got a movie to do in a couple weeks. Got it. But I thought the story that they told through the physicality was fantastic. And once it got going, that's how you do it. Once again, you got four of the greats in there. And then what I really thought was interesting too was Roman and Cody worked that match as if they don't got to work tomorrow in terms of what they were doing in the ring. So now we know that it's bloodline rules. Are we going to hear that? We're going to hear that bell and all hell breaks loose from the first minute because we got
shenanigans.
We got the crossroads, right? We got the spears. We got the Superman punches. We got the false finishes. They gave us all that tonight to the point where if this was only a one-night WrestleMania, you would walk away from that match outside of the finish if you're a big Cody fan and say, you know what? I got my money's worth. I'm good. I'm good until next year. So overall, let's talk about just the match first. How did you guys enjoy the match that they gave us?
Really good match. Classic. Several gears throughout. Preview of tomorrow night. It was definitely Bloodline Rules tonight because that was chaos.
No, that was executive board rules today.
Hello. I like that. Executive board
Rock
rules
said,
for
you
sure.
fucking know me. You count, you're fired. All right, Rock.
I love that. I love that. What my lasting image of that match was though was Cody's stepdad. He looked legitimately like distraught.
I think they legit didn't tell him what the finish was.
Nah, he didn't have
because
a clue.
He looked like he looked. I was like, is that E? I had to like, damn, I thought E stayed at home. Is that E? Oh, that ain't E. I was like, Eden went so far. Eden worked himself in the shoot. He got married to Cody's mom just to get close to finishing the story. He did say he was going to be at WrestleMania and he was going to do it for the daddies. And when they said that was Cody's stepdad, I was like, holy hell, I can't believe they did this. I can't believe they did this.
All right. So we get the intro. We got to start there, right? So we get the intro. We have Seth coming out looking like, I think Matthew said, a fashionista visionary, right? So that was an amazing outfit that he had on. We finally get the full version of The Rock volume 100, right? Even you called it out that every week we're seeing a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more to his entrance.
Hmm.
Finally, we get it. Like, of course, we weren't there, and I absolutely have FOMO outside of all the people talking about how cold it is there. But I absolutely have FOMO this year. But just the boom boom, like that whole entrance, that whole presentation of The Rock, like I I had messaged Dwayne, our cousin. I was like, I could cry right now because just how powerful that was to me. All right, so we fast forward to a match. I'm like, all right, the beginning is going like how Rock throwing a couple punches, like you said, couple punches, couple kicks. And I'm like, oh, this is dang it. All right, this is the Rock we're gonna get. Then Rock disappears for a minute. I'm like, homeboy is getting some water, eating some food. He had been on the internet talking about he's been deprived or depleted carbs and depleted fats. I'm like, he's trying to eat. I remember last time he was in the ring trying to get some bottled water. But then, holy hell, this shit picked up. That match absolutely surpassed my expectations for it. I'm mad at the finish because now I know what that really means. It cemented what's going to happen tomorrow night. But if I can just take that feeling off that I'm feeling and I'm angry about it, what an amazing match. What an amazing time. We got to see the
Hmm.
people's elbow. I mean, like, and I took that all in that moment. I'm like, this is probably the last time we've seen this. You was like, no, not really, maybe not. But as far as on this grand stage, it is for me. So I took that all in. Match was 3 thumbs up.
I don't
Yeah,
remember
pretty good.
anybody getting finished by the people's elbow. Is
No.
that a thing?
Oh yeah.
Oh, you mean
Yeah.
back in the day?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. It was a thing.
I thought it was always
The rock
spine
bottom.
buster. Yeah, rock bottom.
Yeah.
People's elbow, then rock bottom.
It was sometimes then he flipped it, and then yep. People's elbow, and then off.
Gotcha.
Jerry Lawler.
No worries.
Eshawn, we've been waiting, sir. Thoughts on that match, buddy?
It was a good match. It's about what I expected.
All right, good talk. So Rhodesia said she had a little bit of FOMO. I probably had FOMO on Thursday for sure.
Oh,
Had a little
well,
bit of
but
FOMO on
and all that
Friday.
stuff, yeah.
But let me explain something to you. When they put that graphic up on that screen, it
About
said
that
it was
temperature.
50 degrees out there, and it felt like 45. No, thank you. I'm good. Wrestling is not meant to be watched in cold elements. It's not. If it was, they wouldn't have had heaters at the ring
for
for
the
the
wrestlers,
wrestlers.
yeah.
So, as Drew McIntyre once stated a few weeks ago on Raw, because I did have FOMO, and I'm like, man, I hope it rains. I hope it's cold.
I hope they got your
As he once said, I prayed for this and it happened. All of you guys sitting out there in Philadelphia, cold. You can be cold tomorrow too. Coats and jacket sales are going up 5,000% in Macy's and all those other stores, I'm sure, around that place. And it got to a point where I was like, can they even cheer? Because it's so cold. Like, are their hands like tied?
Yeah.
Are their hands frozen? Because they wasn't making too much noise. But hopefully everybody had a good time out there. So all right, now let's talk about the actual story of the match.
Hmm.
I think we all knew deep down we were get bloodline rules.
Mhm.
Probably so, yeah.
Let's start with this. Is there still a way Rock is going to intentionally screw Roman tomorrow night?
I thought this shit was happening tonight with the spear. And I thought they was getting ready to tell like a nasty story going from there, but it's okay. I don't see it happening tomorrow. But I don't know when else you set that future standoff between them at later on down the line. So I mean, I guess it could, but I don't see it. But yeah, I thought the spear was going to take a turn and kind of wipe away everything we've been seeing for the last few weeks, but it unfolded the way it probably should have. So
I would have thought that too with the spear, but Roman kind of made it up to him when he tagged Roman Rock in to get the pin. So if that hadn't happened, I'm like, oh yeah, Rock's definitely about to get his get back. But what I can foresee happening is at the end of tomorrow night or however in the future, the soon future, I can see Rock making fun of Roman in some way, saying you don't even have your title anymore, and that he has the People's Champion title. Although it's not a real title, I could absolutely see Rock saying, "Hey, we won our match. I won my match. I pinned Cody. I did my thing, and I got the People Championship belt. What did you do? You just lost it with all of our interference."
Mm.
I like it.
E, are you going to be involved in this conversation, or you just lay out until tomorrow?
Y'all keep rolling. Y'all
wait.
cooking right now.
I saw, and I wasn't on X much. I had tweeted, during the show a little bit, but I didn't get a chance to really engage and read other people's comments. As soon as the show ended, I went on really quick. And like the first 5 tweets I saw was still about Rock screwing over Roman. They better have a damn good explanation and reason why if they do. I saw one where they're like, when Rock gave the throat slash, that was a throat slash to the end of the bloodline. That makes no sense.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
you got to give me way
reaching.
more.
Yeah, it's
like,
reaching a lot.
Yeah, like Cody and Rock are not in cahoots. This man made him bleed. He talked about his mom. They are not in cahoots. If there's another way we get to this, okay, but it ain't that. So I do think this was the right call, of course, and being across the board. It was the right call that Rock was the one that pinned Cody. Now, this is all we're going to assume Cody wins tomorrow night and wins the championship. We're also going to assume we get the Avengers style finish where all hell breaks loose and we get people coming in to help Cody, et cetera, et cetera. But we talked about hard times. We talked about Cody not earning his opportunity at the title and then his shot at the title and then winning the title last year. This is what all this is leading up to the point where they even showed the same camera angle.
The same camera angle.
Cody in the ring.
Of Cody, yep, in the
and now
ring,
you had Rock and Roman behind him
going
up the ramp with the pyro going off. So that was fantastic. But I think that you're painting it right. This is what we wanted last year. For everybody who was right, by the way, that said it was too early for Cody because Cody's going to be more over when you do get it. Once again, this is all under the assumption he does get it tomorrow. I'm still holding out hope he's not going to get it. I'm still holding out hope that somehow, some way, The Rock does what he did today and tell Pat, whoever is the referee, if you do that, I'm firing you.
It's going to be the same ref tomorrow.
This was the funniest main event in WrestleMania history.
But like real life funniest though.
I have never seen a heel blatantly cheat in front of the ref like the ref's not looking. I've never seen that before.
No, when they said he looked at Cody and said, "I'm sorry."
No, that was so good. But listen, I'm over here like turning like heel-ish too, because I'm like, man, if that's the case, he needs to stand on his morals and his honors. He needs to leave the match. Talking about the ref, like he should be like, you know what? I don't stand for this. I took an oath to be a fair referee, and I can't stand by this.
Look at you now. But overall, I thought, so what's funny to me was I knew the match would be good. I think the match may have topped my expectations. Some. I thought the match was, I don't know what number I would give it, but if somebody asked me, I would say, hey, do you know about the story? Once again, we talk about it. So say we take Avengers Infinity War. Hey, do you know about the story? If you say no, I say, okay, well, before you watch Endgame, you got to watch Infinity War. This was Infinity War. Like, you're not going to understand night 2 unless you really watch night 1 and you're invested in that. So from that perspective, and being able to see The Rock, for however long, he actually probably did a little bit more than I thought. I thought he would have been the hot tag guy. Roman worked his ass off too. Roman looked incredible. He had talked about how much work he had been putting in, and he looked it. They both looked it. They looked fantastic. And so we really got that part from them. The physicality was there. And then the physicality through the storytelling was what I really, really appreciated. So I thought it was fantastic overall. I thought up until that point, Sammy and Gunther killed. Killed. And I was waiting for that moment on this show. We've been talking a lot about Kevin Dunn. Thanks for nothing. We didn't know we were living in poverty. We get these camera angles and these camera shots and story with production on every Raw and SmackDown, and we hadn't got it on Mania. And I'm like, okay, but I know there has to be a staple point where we get something. They've done it too much over the last 2 months. And
You
I'll
mean
be damned.
production? You talking about production?
I
right
will
now.
be damned
Mhm.
when Sammy was backstage with his son and his wife, and we had one singular shot go from his son and his wife to Chad Gable
Mhm.
to Kevin Owens
That was good.
to his entrance. Come on, man. And at that point, I was like, damn, he's winning.
Yeah, I said.
You know,
I said that.
I was on that
Yeah.
Gunther train, like, hey, nope. I want Chad Gable to, but when Chad was like, don't
You
forget
owe
you
me.
owe me one,
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, all right, got it. But I thought that was fantastic. But up to that, I thought the show started really strong with like the first two matches. For me, it was a little bit of a lull in the middle. I was absolutely, I thought more of the Uso Super Bowl. I thought we was gonna get way more from the Uso Bowl than we did. A little disappointed there. It was okay, right? It was okay. When I watched, I was like, well, they have more evidently they're gonna tell. But then we got the last two matches, and for me, it saved it. What did you guys think about Gunther and Sammy back-to-back co-main event with that main event? And then just overall your thoughts on Sami Zayn, the one taking down Gunther after 2+ years.
You go first, Rhodesia.
Them going back to back, it was enough time in the video packages for it not to feel like, oh my God, I'm still high off of the Sammy and Gunther. In full transparency, I didn't see the full match between Gunther and Sammy. I did see the beginning, I saw the end. I was gone in the middle. But I didn't feel like, oh my gosh, like I can't appreciate this last match because how good Sammy and Gunther was. When that whole thing happened, especially when Chad said, all right, you owe me one. Remember that. I was like, all right, damn it. Okay. And I'm like, you might as well give it to him. I'm like, because as hard as Sammy has worked over these last couple of years, I'm like, I guess he's going what in the last 2 years, 2-0 for being able to win championships at Mania in a main event, co-main event spot. So really proud of him. He put in a lot of work. One more thing though, before we leave the main event, I just have to give more props once again to Seth Rollins just for Rocky, and I know the story is with Rocky and Cody, but just seeing Rocky and Seth start the match together, as far as seeing Rock when he first got in the ring, he got in the ring with Seth. To me, it just felt like once again, this is somebody who's going to show for you. Again, I get that Cody was going to be the hotter tag later, but just this is going to be the person who's going to show for you, who's going to sell for you, and he's just so damn good. And at the end of the day, I still felt like he was at the bottom of the list of the four guys in that ring, but work wise and the efforts he put into that match, the selling of the jobs, Seth is a absolute best at this. What else did you say? I know you said something about Sammy and Gunther. Was the first
Yeah,
part.
don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. E, I think
Hey,
you
let me go-
said you wanted, or I think you may have picked Sammy, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't remember. I think I picked Sammy. You
Did it
know,
live up to
like
your
here's the thing
expectations?
about Sammy though. Sammy, I think I said it before. He reminds me of like he's kind of like Sting back in the day, like the early '90s Sting. Like once he gets the championship, like everybody's there for it, but it's like the follow up afterwards, right? I just hope that whatever momentum he picks up from this huge win, right? Because you know this is a big feat. Like Gunther was that guy, so I hope that he can follow up with some successful title reigns. Because last year he and KO's tag team title reigns kind of fluttered after they won those titles off the Usos. So I'm interested in seeing what's next for these guys. But the match itself was really, really good. It's what you expect it to be, right? I didn't bite into a lot of the false finishes because I felt like it just wasn't it. But that's the thing about Gunther, right? Because his finishes don't they're
We don't
not
know what they are.
they're not the new
The norm.
finish,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like his finisher is like a finisher from like the 80s. Like that power bomb certainly would have been a finisher back then. But like nowadays, it doesn't seem like something that would finish somebody. So that's when it kind of comes out of the blue. And you're like, oh damn, he won. But I will say, let me go back to the main event. I was a little bit of I was doing something, so I was kind of
Here
stalling.
we go. Let's go.
But I will say,
on.
I'm gonna make it real
Let
quick.
me ask you a question,
Y'all
E, before you go.
y'all
Are
talk.
you getting ready right now to pledge your allegiance to the bloodline? Did you realize watching that main event, like, we can't do this year? The final boss is just too strong. Roman Reigns is in peak physical form. Maybe Matt is right about this whole Madison Square Garden thing. Or maybe we'll wait to Minnesota. It won't be as cold because it's indoors. You could be there. Is that what you about to give us right now?
See, you know what? Like Matt,
Just asking, man.
little
Just
Matt
asking.
is such a smart, articulate young man. And I was like, man, why is he so misguided? And I realized it's poor leadership, right? Because you think about it, the whole family, they don't like mustard. Like, right? Like, how do 3 people not like mustard collectively, right?
Black people really don't eat mustard though.
They don't
I do.
like
I do.
they don't
Mustard?
Yeah.
yeah, on a impossible burger, of course.
Black.
Over ketchup any
Well,
day.
Impossible
Yeah,
burger. I mean,
so
Over
it's not a
anyway.
real
ketchup?
burger.
Oh, so now
Yeah.
y'all are the heels.
I hate
So-
ketchup.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I
Go
mean,
ahead.
You
E.
know,
Now,
they
we got two
they
heels
cheering
on.
heels. You know, they don't want to see Cody finish his story. It's poor leadership because Matt is the man of the household. He's the dad, and he's just giving poor guidance to his super young wife and his young child. So, hey Matt, do better, man. You can always change. But what I saw, it's like, oh my God, they're continuing to make this man Cody fight from underneath, and I am going to be cheering with them little babies, representing for the daddies, and I'm getting ready, y'all. I'm gonna. Hey, look, tomorrow I gotta take my I gotta take mom to the airport. She gotta be there at like 5 o'clock in the morning. But when I get back, I'm taking a big nap. Big nap. I'm gonna be big ready tonight to celebrate. And you know what I want to do? I can't wait. We're gonna get on this pod. I don't want y'all asses to be like, I don't want y'all to be black people today. I want y'all to get on the pod on time so we can discuss this, so we can celebrate
I
and
can't believe you just
gratification.
did that. I
You
can't believe you
understand?
just did that on air. I can't
Let
believe
me
you
let
just
me
did that
ask
on
you
air.
this real
Time
quick.
Hey.
out. Hold on. No, we're gonna stop.
No,
all
no,
that.
no, no,
Every-
no,
Y'all
no.
know
hold
what
on
it
a
is.
second. No,
Let's
stop,
y'all know what it is.
stop.
Let's not fake it.
I do
Let's
have a
celebrate.
question. I do have a question for you, E.
I got
Like
one too.
legit question. Too much heat on Cody? Now, remove yourself from knowing that, hey, you've been watching this thing for 30 plus years, and we're going to assume Cody's winning tomorrow. But say like if we don't know what's happening. Was tonight too much heat on Cody? He lost last year at 40. He's been getting his ass kicked every single week by The Rock. And then he got his ass kicked by The Rock and Roman on Monday. He got a little bit of get back on SmackDown, and he loses again tonight. Is it too much heat, or you're like, nope, this is just enough to where his fan base is still going to be there for him if he wins tomorrow night?
That's one of those things where, in all seriousness, that's one of those things. Those types of questions is I let the dudes who do this every day decide that. Like, right? But it's almost to the fact you gotta think that damn, he gotta be winning, right? He been getting beat down for the past like 6 months. It seemed like, right? It's only been a couple weeks,
Yeah.
but it seemed like every time he get in the ring, like he getting a boot to the chin, right? So you gotta think like, damn, this man gotta
Belt
overcome,
to the
right?
back.
I feel like humping an
Ooh.
old Negro spiritual at this point, like, because this brother gotta overcome tomorrow, right? Because he can't get beat down like this for weeks, and then we left lying tomorrow. It can't be. So it'd be interesting to see, but I don't know, man. I mean, I see what you're saying though, definitely.
For anybody who
quick.
get whoopings, they felt that. Like for me, I got
Oh,
whoopings like 3
shit,
times
yeah.
a day, every day
Yeah.
when I was a kid. Like
That last
yesterday,
one
if you would
was-
call me.
Rhodesia,
Man, that whip.
That last one.
That
Rhodesia,
last
what
one.
was worse? That Cody whip or the Oscar whip?
You mean with the braid?
Yeah.
You mean Bianca's? See, the
that-
difference is my mom
I'ma
used
go
to tell
braid.
me she used to
go
let
braid.
me pick out the switch. I might probably need
Yeah.
to go talk to a counselor about this. My mom used to say, "Do you want the skinny thin switch or do you want this big
Yeah.
fat thick switch?" Switch.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
man, I just think that them skinny ones hurt, like it stings and it lingers forever. But
Eric
I
in the
felt
chat
that in my
said
soul.
generational ass whoopings.
Right.
For real.
Right.
None of them. How about that? E? None of them. I don't want any of those. But that last one, because it was a grown man, so that I guess maybe that's the difference. That grown man whip. Oh no, that when Rock hit him, that one I would not take. I'd rather take the braid.
I mean, I wouldn't take either one of them. I mean, just as a viewer, which one did you cringe more at?
My soul hurt when Cody got hit.
Ooh,
Yeah.
really? Yeah, it was
Yes,
rough.
I
It
felt
was
that.
loud, man. I had an extra mic on that one.
Yeah. Real quick. Cody wins tomorrow. Is it sweeter tomorrow night than what you thought it would have been last year?
Great question.
Well, see, my lips is ready. Right now. My mouth is dry. So I need something, right? I need to be refreshed. So
Yeah.
it's going to be sweet. I don't know if last year I was ready for it last year. I was hoping for it last year, but I need it now. So maybe right now, because we need to overcome on this one. Like I said, I'm ready. I don't know which Negro spiritual I want to sing all day long until WrestleMania, but we need to overcome on this one.
And then quick follow up. If it is sweet tomorrow, would it have all made sense like maybe Matt was proposing last year?
No, because this wasn't the plan. This wasn't the plan.
Yeah.
You just got The Rock back. So that was another pivot. Speaking of, did y'all see? Y'all might not have seen it. Did you see they're doing a behind the scenes documentary that's hitting YouTube on Wednesday about Mania?
No.
And it was right after the show went off, and they showed about a 45-second trailer. And I mean, they're talking the pivot where they're using the words. Yep, we pivoted because of the crowd response. Yeah, Triple H was on there, Rock was on there, Cody. I don't know if Cody said anything, but Seth was just like, "This is the wildest build to a match I've ever like dealt with before." So that's gonna be Wednesday. So that's gonna be incredible to see. Yeah. Real quick, in the chat, Big Smoke Jitsu said Stand and Deliver had some better matches than Mania. And I don't know how much of Stand and Deliver for you guys watch. We'll get back to Mania, of course, right after this.
Yeah.
I thought Stand and Deliver was good. I thought the main event with Trick and Mello, you guys all saw that, right?
I saw it.
I haven't seen it yet.
Okay. Do you know who won? E? Okay, so we won't give the finish away, but what I think about that match was it was lacking another 5 to 6 minutes.
Jinx, I was gonna say it was very fast paced, which I love the jump, flip, slap, those quick matches. But it did feel like it was very quick. It was like they were on television and they're trying to make time. And it's like, what happened here? But it was still to me, it was still a great match. I love
it was good.
From beginning to end that it was fast paced, but it felt like, oh, that was it. He pinned him. That was it.
Yeah, I thought it needed to go more. And I thought it was a little anticlimactic.
I think it started so strong.
It was.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Because I was like, oh, that's the finish?
Yep.
Yeah, and I think bell to bell, that match may have only been 12 minutes.
Wow.
So we
it felt like that felt about right. That felt about 12 minutes.
We talked in the past where like they don't get to that third gear. They came out in second gear. They skipped first
for
gear.
For sure.
And then
the crowd was there. The crowd was there.
Yep.
That was the only match I got to see of Stand and Deliver. But they were there from the beginning to the end. When Trick first came out and Whip That Trick came out. When their song came on, that place was knocking. Knocking.
Hey, that's enough. You ain't seen. That's why I left it right there. So
no, I never gave away the match.
You about to say, and then when
no, I wasn't. I'm good at that.
Then,
okay. I'm a lady. I know how to keep
MJF
that.
showed up. So we'll talk about it tomorrow really quick. So E, make sure you watch Stand and Deliver tomorrow. Let's get back to the main event real quick. Anything more you would have wanted from the match?
Yes. I would have wanted Cody to pin The Rock, so then that way I could feel a little bit better sleeping tonight, knowing that Roman will win tomorrow.
Sleep bad, Rhodesia. I hope you have a big nightmare.
This is how the broadcast started.
Look at you now,
Torty.
See, I have nothing but love for these people. And you
don't do that.
What
you
I
came
get,
on the text
final
messages
boss
that we got before we even went live. Don't do that.
Look at you now.
Look at
final
you now,
boss.
boy.
I do wonder. I wonder if you look at kind of what we got tonight with just the main event. If we go to tomorrow, how many people are so upset right now that Cody did not win, that they are legit shoot hot to where they're not watching tomorrow? I bet you there is a percentage of the fan base.
Small.
I doubt it. That would be
small.
nuts.
Yeah, that'd be.
You would be surprised, brother.
And we're not talking about children.
But only to miss what's gonna happen tomorrow night. That would be insane.
Because they keep screwing Cody over. Because there was also people I've seen on X that I've interacted with where, of course, allegedly, they stopped watching WWE
last year.
after last year. And they were like, the bloodline is too much. I'm over Roman not being on TV, and they keep screwing Cody over. And they were like main, like, AEW fans at that point. Were they telling the truth? Who knows? I don't know. But that's what they said.
Yeah, I was ready for a break. Y'all can't make me watch.
You can be ready for a break tomorrow too, buddy.
You have a podcast, sir.
You be ready for
You
a
can't
break
take
tomorrow,
a
buddy.
you can't take a break.
I told
You
you.
gotta be
Final
on the
boss
report.
does it again.
AEW correspondent Eshawn. Man, so I actually, I'm a big Mark Briscoe fan, so I had to kind of watch that match. I mean, I got Mark Briscoe to talk about. I'll be just fine. Everything will be
You
just
do.
fine.
I told him, I was like, man, that's training wheels. For when he gets on this pod next week and he's our exclusive AEW contributor, he got to start at Ring of Honor. Got to start at Ring of Honor.
You gotta start a Ring of Honor.
So,
Hey, but real quick though,
yeah.
Matt, that crowd, man, they were hot, and I'll bet it seemed very, very split. But I'm sure it was much louder in that building than what we heard, right? Because it looked like it was like, I noticed it was like 72,000 or something like that. Like it was like a million people in that arena,
which I
right?
think the real number was closer to like 68. You know how they'll fluff it up a little bit, and that's still a shit ton of people.
That's a lot.
Like, that's not a knock at all. But to that point, and then of course Matt, Cody gets a tag at one point, and the crowd starts booing it. Matt, see, they're booing Cody. I was like, Matt, relax, dude. This is the first time they've seen Rock live and maybe ever. Like, this is the Rock's doing. And then they got some really good heat too, to where.
But if you listen to those boos and those cheers, they were very muttered because it seemed like there was multiple chants happening.
Yeah,
that was mixed in that.
Yeah,
but that's great though, man. It was that much passion in that crowd for those men. I mean, that's how you know you got a hot main event.
Yep.
The way I wrote down the boos, as far as me, because I kept track of the show. Cody got some boos, Seth got some boos, mixed a little bit with his music, and then Rocky got the most boos. Roman, though, in the beginning, he didn't get many boos. Now, maybe that he wasn't as loud, the people weren't as loud for Roman as it was the other three people, but I felt like Rock got the most boos to start the show or start the match. But Cody
I heard
Seth
Rocky chants.
Yeah, I heard Rocky chants too.
Yeah, but I'm talking about in the very beginning, though. I'm talking about as far as the level of boos. I heard the most boos with Rocky. But he would get the most cheers and the most boos because who he is. But I found it interesting that Roman
enjoy your nightmares, Rhodesia. Dang, he's a heel too.
Love it.
Put him in the bucket with the other Cody crybabies.
Yeah, and Eric, hey, my bad, man. My mama is in town. I had to spend time with her today because she's been watching the kids all week long. So Big Daddy had to spend big time with mommy before she goes back, to the airport tomorrow. So sorry, got to spend time with mom. Cause see, this is why Eric, the Matts and the Rhodesias and the Brandons are heels, because y'all don't care about people mamas. Because Rock bringing up people mama on live on TV, you know what I'm saying? Eric think I can't spend time with my mama today. Y'all are a bunch of heels, man. That's why tomorrow, me and Bush, we gonna be cheering, man. We gonna give it up for all the daddies and all the kids all over the place, because we gonna finally get some faces out here, man, doing positive things for the world. Thank you.
What did y'all think of Triple H coming out there and dropping his nuts on the table and basically saying, "This is my company, chump"?
It's pretty legit. They had the new graphic for the did now. Yeah.
It's universal.
I like comic book stuff, right? So like that's right out of Marvel and a legit WWE universe. So I thought it was great. What you guys think?
I thought it was great as well.
Yep.
I thought everything was great, man. I love that Meek Mill's entrance.
There it is.
Yeah.
That was fantastic. Then we had Coco. I didn't know she could sing like that, man.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't know she could sing
you
not
ain't
like
see
that.
Let It Shine on Disney.
I mean, the most I've seen, to be honest with you, the most I've seen from her is on I watched the Fresh Prince.
And you watched it just because of her
Bel Air.
Tell the truth.
I didn't know she was in that.
Hey, to be honest with you, that was my first introduction to her, and I was like, damn, who's this?
Yeah, she's
the Hours and Hours chick, right?
The who?
No.
What's the song? What's her popular song?
She really don't have one.
Yeah,
like her latest
Let It
release.
Shine from Disney.
No, Rhodesia. She had one like in like she dropped a song in October, and all of a sudden she started getting all these awards in November. I was like, oh, got it. We know what that
She
means.
got a song.
You are the
Oh, I'm
Cody
thinking
Rhodes
of
the
Money
music industry.
Long.
You're being pushed
I'm thinking
in
of
front of the
somebody else.
limelight.
Okay.
You didn't put the work in yet. Coco Jones. We love Coco Jones.
But I do like the Triple H came out there and further stamped it like that stench
This
of
is my
Vince
era.
McMahon. Yeah,
Yep.
it's over. We
Yep.
doing it a different way and in the camera, behind the scenes. But hey, but Matt, you the production guy, man. Did you feel like the production was a little bit off? First, maybe 35, 45 minutes of the show?
I felt like it was just being done as a regular, normal show.
Hmm.
And I think so. I stage sucks. Sorry.
I disagree. It's
Sorry,
not my
say
favorite.
sucks.
I don't think it's horrible.
It was
Give
trash.
me another stage. See, you haven't really been watching, but this is even better. Give me another stage that is worse than that stage that you've seen, WrestleMania stage.
I'll have to go back and look.
You can't.
Yeah.
You know why?
Mhm.
I have
It's
to
the
go back.
worst. And it's
Yeah,
fine. Like
it's
it's fine,
terrible.
right? But they do too many stadium shows now that I need to be overwhelmed by the WrestleMania stage. You
And
can't
that's what
give
it
me
is, yeah.
billboards on LA stage like last year and they're switching because of the matches and things, and then give me just like 4 big LED boards with an X and an L. That ain't enough.
I
and
mean,
a lot of
SoFi
people-
is built different. I mean, you could do more in SoFi.
Well, that's what a lot of
Probably.
people were saying too.
Yeah.
They said because it's a smaller stadium, which is
Yeah.
right because like the ramp wasn't that long. I get that. It still sucks. It's
Hey,
I
fine.
gotta be
It's
honest
okay.
with you. Like,
Hey, it's okay. It still
so
sucks.
like in the WWE 2K game, we got a modded community that's really big into arenas. I'm just not into that kind of stuff. I didn't notice. They're all the same to me, to be honest with you. That's not something
Really?
I'm into. It's not something I'm into.
Well, what's your favorite? What's the best stage?
Man,
I
last
love-
year's up there.
Last year's up there. I love New York. I love
Which one?
Miami,
Which
the
New York?
one that had the Statue of Liberty, and so was that 28. I keep saying I
Okay.
call everything 28. It probably wasn't 28. But those are the two that stands out in my head big time. And the Miami one was nice just because it's hot. You're in a nice climate. You had the palm trees. That was beautiful.
This one is a kind of a little bit like Miami, but my favorite 3 probably is last year's 39, LA, Orlando. They made a damn amusement
Orlando
park as the
looked
stage.
pretty lit.
I love
Yep.
them Atlanta. That was what would take her only coming halfway up the ramp, right?
He couldn't
I
make
think
it.
that was that one.
He
Yeah.
couldn't make
Huh?
it. They
Yeah,
gave him
that was that one.
They
Yeah.
gave him
But I
a
love
drop
that.
door right before the ring. It was like, here, man, he still took him 5 minutes to get to the
Oh.
ring. That was sad. Dwayne,
I
I
was
guess
about
he's
to
a
say
Coco
it.
Jones fan. He said she had ICU, Grammy winner. It was fire.
That's what
All
it is.
All right, Dwayne. okay,
Fire,
we got it,
fire,
man.
fire,
Yeah.
fire.
All
Our
right,
four
yeah.
fires right there.
All right, I guess he's a heel too. But yeah, so those are like my favorite 3. But it's fine. It's okay, right? Like I'm not tripping on it, but it's just not great. It's not great.
Okay.
Gotcha.
How about this? What is it called? Motionless White. Okay. Don't know nothing about you outside of the Rhea Ripley song and that your name.
Oh, yeah, that was good.
But that intro, like, of course,
Yeah,
I'm full
buddy.
of I call it hyperbole right now. But as far as like not crazy extravagant entrances,
buddy.
that was probably one of my
Clap that up.
favorite live
that
That's
up.
pretty
entrances.
good.
When I saw him, like it gave me aura in a kind of eerie kind of way, but a good way. Like I was getting goosebumps for her coming out to that. So bravo to
I
that.
just
I'm glad
like
they were able to get 'em.
Rhea's vibe when she come out to that. And I love whatever that motion is she does before the stump. I'm a big fan of that. She does a really good job coming out and like really feeling that intro.
Mhm.
Let's talk about that real quick. E, you sent a text to the group chat maybe about halfway through the match. You were like, either you called it clumsy or clunky.
Clunky.
Yeah, I think you
Clunky.
said it was clunky. Did you still feel that way by the time the match was over?
Yeah.
Really?
But it was fine. It was fine for what it was, though, right? Like, I was more so than the match itself. I mean, it's 2 larger than life characters.
Mhm.
Like, I thought
Yeah.
like Becky looked great. I love like when she had like her like that.
I like
that was
Becky's
probably one
gear.
of her best gear.
Mhm.
I like her
And it
boots.
fit what she's doing. Like, yeah, she had like her. I would assume it's like pages from her novel all
Mhm.
throughout
That's
her
what I was
gown that she
thinking, yeah.
had and her knee pads, etc. So she came out looking like $1,000, $1 million, excuse me. Rhea, of course, looking like Rhea. Man, Rhea is just she is killing everything that she does. She's killing her look, her vibe. But the actual wrestling match itself, so like it reminded me of like matches I used to watch like in the 80s and 90s. Like when it was heavy character and story, right? And the match was that. It was just a match in another chapter, and it was fine for what it was to get to the next point. I think Rhea, rightfully won.
Hmm.
Um, I wonder what's next for them, but yeah. I mean, the match was it wasn't the
Yeah, I
best
thought
women's
it was
match
an
I
okay
saw.
match. I
Actually,
know
I like the match
the
a lot.
moment when you said it was clunky, it was like a mishap spot. It wasn't big, but I think a lot of women matches sometimes just aren't as fluid as some of the dude matches I've watched. And it not that they're bad wrestlers or anything like that, but I feel like oftentimes I see a match between two women and it feels like they're counting the steps.
Oh, so
I
you're
mean,
sexist. Got it.
No,
I thought the
I
match was great.
Yeah, I thought the match was really good. I thought it was
I
fast
thought it
paced.
was a great
I
start
didn't say it wasn't
to
great.
the paper. Yeah, you was like, it was just they out there counting. They're going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. That's what you just said. That's what
It
I
was
heard anyway.
it was just when E sent it. I was like, okay, yeah, I know exactly when he was referring to. But
You know what it
I
is about
thought it
Becky?
was a good match.
You know what it is
so
about Becky? Like no, all joking aside, she's a lot like Charlotte, where you're going to
Jinx.
get some moments in the match
Yeah,
where it's more of a struggle and it does not look choreographed than a perfectly choreographed match.
But I think that's by
right.
design. I think they like that. I think they wrestle that way so it looks or maybe feel more real. To us, it might be like, well, it's not as fluid. It's not as choreographed and seamless as it should be. But I love how I was gonna actually mention about something about Becky. Can't believe I'm about to say it. Actually, how great that match, how she was in that match. One thing about Becky, although we've talked about how thin and lean she is, she's a strong SOB. Like
Hmm.
I really, really enjoyed that match. I thought it was fast paced. I wonder if because I felt it was fast paced, maybe that's probably why you didn't care like great about it because those are the kind of matches maybe you didn't have as much storytelling in it for you. I wonder if that's the reason why you feel that way.
um, I think that a lot of Becky's matches are sloppy, and I don't think it's by design. I think it's just the way she wrestles. And Rhea can have some slop in her matches too. I just think I don't think it's a struggle thing. It just looks kind of, and I'm not a wrestler. I don't judge, but it just seems like it seems like they're like things don't go as planned and they adjust,
Hmm.
right? And that's the way it looks when it's just like, let's say it's a clothesline that maybe they was short, right? So they just fall into it and then they kind of fall back. It just seems sloppily. I'm surprised you guys liked it as much as they.
I
It wasn't
did.
a bad
Mm-hmm.
match,
I
That was
liked
but
it a
really
lot.
good match.
I didn't think it was a. I didn't think it was. I didn't think it was. I thought it was a fine match. So if I was ranking, 1 to 10, I would say the match is probably like
Give it a six and
maybe
a half.
like maybe like a 7, maybe a
Okay.
7.5.
All right. Well, I mean, you got that more of like on the good side. Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought honestly, I thought it was a great. I thought it was a great opening to the show. I thought they build the way they wanted to build. I thought they had some great false finishes. I think they worked
Hmm.
well together. And one thing I was looking at Becky works better. I don't know if this is like common sense, but it may not be. She works better in big spots. And like it's not like she's not sandbagging like Raw and SmackDown matches or just regular pay-per-views, but you'll be hard pressed to find a Mania match, a Rumble match, or a SummerSlam match where Becky doesn't deliver.
I agree. In the
And
ring.
I just think there's something to that. But it is about Rhea. It is all about Rhea
Hmm.
right now. So selfishly, all eyes on Minnesota to get to Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair for the women's title. That would be fantastic. Let's talk about the ladder match.
Woo! Hyperbole again. Hyperbole. During the match, I'm like, okay, I might have to go back and rewatch the greatest ladder match between Dudley's, Christian and Edge, and the Hardys just to see.
Hmm.
But that match was so damn good. When you talk about 12 people in a match with ladders, holy hell did they put on? Like I was keeping notes of all the different spots, whether you got the DDT, Gargano gave Bates on the outside of the ring. I mean,
Cameron
just
was like, "Oh."
like what?
Cameron liked that spot.
The power bomb Grayson took as he's still holding the championship. Like the visual of that alone. I mean, that match was just just so great. And of course, we got her truth winning. So of course, I love that match there. But
One of
overall,
my. Go ahead.
no,
Sorry.
no, no. I'm saying just overall, for it to be 12 people in one ladder match, for it to be that good to me, and it didn't feel gimmicky. Like outside of yes, there's ladders, but just
Yeah.
it didn't feel like a normal battle royal to me, and it wasn't. But that's how many people was in the ring.
One of my favorite moments of the night was R-Truth begging to get tagged in.
I've never seen who does a hot tag in a ladder match. Our truth don't ever change, please.
But Miz knows him. He's like, I know my brother. I know my brother. Let me just tag him in. I don't know why he's there, but I'm gonna tag him.
Had a hell of a hot tag too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Had a hell of a hot tag.
Man,
No,
man,
that
was
was a
stepping
fun
all over the
match.
entrance though, man, wasn't he?
What happened?
E, you remember? Of course, you remember TLCs. I would have to go back. I don't think it beats TLCs at all on Mania, but I will say I think this was one of the best car crash matches in WrestleMania history.
Mm.
I do think that because you had some of those crazy
JD?
spots,
McCullough?
and it wasn't just spots.
McDonough.
It
McDonough?
wasn't just
McCullough?
crazy spots.
He's McCullough now.
Where needs to mute up. You've done enough now. Mute up.
60
It wasn't
seconds.
spots. It wasn't spots just for do spots. It was
Yeah.
spots, and there was stories attached to those spots. Love the finish of both SmackDown and Raw tag teams. We got them separated finally.
Mhm.
Thank you so much for that. So we got Aussies Down Under, whatever their name is, Theory and Waller, and then we got Austin
Hey,
Truth.
Mic up, Matt.
Hey, it hasn't
Wake
been
up,
60
man.
seconds yet. It hasn't been 60 seconds yet.
But you messed up too.
Let's go to the chat because the chat got some smoke for y'all. I think Bush said yes. He said Brandon is sexist. Get him out of here. I agree. Eric said Brandon just be talking to Ishan too much. I agree with that too.
Ouch.
Absolutely agree with that.
He ain't making that much sense yet. I'll learn him though.
Felix said Drew wins tomorrow, and he thinks that he's going to help the bloodline, and that may be
He was
something.
talking to Paulie.
We saw
He was
Heyman
talking to
talking
Paulie.
to Drew backstage, and like nobody really talked about that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's got to play a role somehow, some way
Yeah.
into it, which is good stuff. I skimmed over. I kind of gave my thoughts. I want your guys' thoughts about the Super Bowl of the Usos, Jimmy and Jay.
The lead up was sad.
yeah.
Well, the lead up was sad. The
Yep.
video package we got was incredible,
Fire.
which I was like, oh, hell to the yeah. All right, Brandon, you can go.
You just stopped. You just laid out.
I mean,
I would not talk bad against the bloodline ever.
I mean, that's what it was. I mean, I thought that match was short too. I hated the spot of Jimmy saying, "I'm sorry, I was wrong," and then he do his brother dirty in that moment. I mean, that was kind of lazy, I guess, in storytelling.
And he still didn't win.
Exactly. But I mean, it was cool. I think, like Matt said, he expected a little bit more. I thought they was gonna go a little bit more. I mean, they went, but it was just okay. I'm not mad at it, but it was cool.
I think we got what we expected.
Damn.
That's not what I expected
Damn.
in the slightest.
Well, you should have.
That's not
But
what
why,
I. Do you
though?
remember all the years that
That's all
they
they
had?
talked about. They wanted the WrestleMania match, and I'm like, okay, if you want this one-on-one match, y'all are going to bring it in within the area that you can go all out, right? So I didn't expect blood and tables being broken every 5 minutes. I didn't expect that, but I did expect much more intensity. I just expected more than like a super kickoff of super kicks, and then to Brandon's point, a hope spot of let's get back together, cheap shot, false finish, go home. It was like, whoa, this was...
I would say this. I have never
that.
seen a USO match, and again, working tag and working solo, completely different. I have never walked away from an USO match, especially over the last 10 years, whether it was against New Day, because they win against each other all the time. The synergy was immaculate then, and ever said, "Oh, that was just an okay USO match." Every time I saw the Usos wrestle, I was like, again, that's in their blood. Like, this is like perfection.
but
I
I don't know how
should
many
expect
times
it
they
more.
wrestled against each other. So this is what I always say. Like I think it's a good life lesson for young people like such as yourself, right? People.
That's not funny
Be,
anymore. I'm a grown woman, sir.
well, it's
I'm
it's
a
Go
it's
tell
not
grown
him.
ass.
Tell him.
I'm
it's
a
not
Tell
meant
him.
to
grown
be
Cut
a
ass
that
joke.
woman.
fraud.
It's not
I'm
meant
Cut
to
a
that
be a
fraud.
joke.
grown
It's
ass
the fact.
woman.
I don't know
Tell him.
why people in the world don't like facts. But anyway,
That's all you.
it's when people tell you who they are, you should believe them. When this storyline has been almost below average since they've been telling it.
But are they not
So I
professional wrestlers? I mean, that's what I. But like for real, have you ever
so
seen Uso matches
if the
where it's
match
like,
was
oh, it's
not
all right?
the match was not unprofessional, it just wasn't as good as you would like. That doesn't have anything with them being professional.
So
The match
again,
itself was
answer my
perfectly
question.
fine.
Answer my
I did
question.
answer fine.
So
If it
if
wasn't
no, you didn't.
unprofessional,
No, you didn't. So I
it
said
wasn't
that we
unprofessional.
expected so much more out of the Usos
I
because
did
I've
not
never
expect
walked
more.
away.
You've expected
Then
so much
okay,
more. I
then
did
you can
not.
say that I did, but you
So
said
So
just a
what I'm
moment
telling
ago
you, can you
that
slow
that's
down and you
what we
listen to me and
expected.
stop put the drink down for a
No.
second? I said this the build to this has been underwhelming the entire time. We've been talking about it. You guys were hoping that the match will bail out the weak storyline. But they didn't really have anything to sink into. What were they really sinking into at this point? Like, right, not a rich
So
story. It hasn't
Ishan,
been a blood feud. They haven't had much to talk about. So what
Ishan.
are they really leaning into?
So I'm gonna answer those two questions. And I want you to answer my question directly. So as far as them having a blood feud or not, it doesn't matter if the story wasn't there. I said that the match itself was lackluster. It was a lot to left to be desired. They have always had great matches. If they're professionals, I should still expect their same caliber of matches.
One thing too in the history is something I'll say and directly. A lot of tag team wrestlers when they break up and have matches, they're not great, right? A lot of
Jay's been
tag
on
teams
a
when they
roll though,
wrestle
man.
each other, they're not great.
Jay's
Those
been on a
matches a lot of
roll.
time. Hawk and Animal, that match didn't work very well. This is throughout history. These things don't
But I
really
should,
work out that
if you're
well.
great wrestlers together, I don't care if you're in a trios match. If you are a great wrestler and I never walk away from your match saying that was just okay, then I should expect that when you have a solo match, that you should still, at the very least, be really good.
I agree with that, and that's fair. But Matt, you said Jay's been on the roll, which he has. Jimmy hasn't.
He has not.
Has he had matches?
But I would have thought Jay could have gotten him to a point where we would have at least walked away and said that was worth the wait.
So hey, I want y'all to give it up and say what it really is. Like, did you think it was trash or was it
No.
just fine? Because I'm
I
saying
think
it's
it was
fine
B. I think
because
it
that's
was
what
fine.
that's
was
where
a B
Rhodesia's
match.
coming. Like, the
No.
match was fine.
No.
Like, what's
No.
I expected
what's
it
the
to be
problem
fine.
with it?
This was
Stop
for
it.
me. I thought this was going to be outside of Gunther and Sammy. I
Oh,
thought
I
this
didn't think
match
that.
could have stole the show for night one. That's how high I was on this match because they've wanted this match forever. And we've seen Jay by himself. And yes, Jimmy is what he is as a singles. But I would have thought you still could have told a story. Hell, we just saw Rock first time in the decade or whatever it's been, right? You work around limitations. So my thought would be, okay, if y'all have wanted this match your entire life, this is your legit championship match moment. Oh man, we want this one-on-one match at WrestleMania. That means more to us than anything else. You got it. Even if you say, hey, you go out there, you guys, you got 12 minutes. I didn't clock the time. If they were given 8 minutes, hey, you got 8 minutes bell to bell. Go make it work. I would have thought that match would have been great because I've never seen a bad or even just a fine Uso match as a tag team. Every match I've seen from the Usos,
But it's
very
a
good.
singles match, and Jimmy hasn't really been lighting it up on fire as a singles, and the storyline going into the match hasn't been that great. The lead into everything in this match.
Well,
we
that's
got
true.
what we've got what we've that match was kind of on line with everything we got with that storyline.
True, but then we can move off of this. If that's the case, then like both women's matches should have been trashed at 39. Asuka and Charlotte's lead up was not good. It was Asuka and Bianca wasn't
It's Asuka
good
and
leading up to
Bianca.
Mania.
It was
and
a
then
terrible
Bianca and
build-up.
Charlotte wasn't good either, and both those matches killed. So I think that's what you kind of look at is like, all right, if it's
We got
Mania, no
two
matter what
career
the field's gonna
singles
be-
wrestlers versus two career tag team wrestlers wrestling against each other who's been tag teaming with each other for
Man.
20 of their years.
main event Jay.
Point is,
Not
that was
fine, Jay.
that was a
Just
B
fine, Jay.
rated match
I'm gonna start
From-
changing. I'm gonna change his name.
that was a
He's
B
just
rated
fine,
match.
Jay Uso to me.
from an A plus players. That was a B rated match, and that's what it is. And I'm not gonna rest on my laurels that was not as a great match as I expected it to be because I have always seen them wrestle well, singles or not.
That was Scott. That was Ricky Scott.
Mhm.
Animal and Hawk.
No, well, yes. It was what we thought. The women's match, six tag. It was basically a squash,
Yes.
right? Black Girl
She's
Magic
28.
loved to see that entrance. I was talking to somebody on X, and they said they felt like the entrance was disjointed because by time the thing came down and the lights came on and they did entrance music, crowd was already dead from it. And I'm like, it was not about their solo entrance,
Mhm.
sis. It was about that
That-
vision and that
yeah.
shot of the three of them coming up and then that thing dropping down. That was the shot. They could have walked to the ring without music.
Mhm.
And it
Sure,
would have been the
sure,
same
sure,
thing.
yeah. But it was
Uh,
clunky as far as when it went from. So Jay got her beautiful spotlight. Naomi got a great spotlight. And then by the time they end up, Naomi was still dancing. By the time they hit Bianca and they cut to Bianca, so I can maybe understand what they said about that.
Mhm.
But you right, as far as seeing those three women coming down,
Mid card Jey Uso. Eric
I
says. Damn.
I felt like they were three different goddesses, like on three different planets. Like they are the leaders, they are the ish of every planet. They're all three beautiful women, all aura for themselves. And like I can't compare any of them with each other because they all are just beautiful and great. And I got all the warm and fuzzies from it.
All right, all right. Enough on Jimmy. All right, now Bush talking about crazy eye Jimmy can't hang. All right, enough. Okay,
Crazy eye.
enough. The match was about Jade, right? And I think we all can tell, like,
Yes,
the match
she won.
was all about, once again, putting her in the best spotlight as possible.
Mhm.
Were Brandon or E, were you guys disappointed at all that it wasn't more of a traditional 6-women tag? Or are you good with, hey, spotlight was the entrance of them being together, Black Girl Magic, Jade gets her big power moves, and we go home?
I thought it was cool. I thought it worked out the way it should have worked out. I think I text y'all that I don't know if it was on the last episode or the one before. One of y'all or all three of y'all handicapped the way that match was gonna go for the most part, and protecting
Mhm.
Jay, letting her do all power moves, and then clean it all up, and boom, we out of there. So I thought it was great. It was fun. It was a lot of fun actually.
It was quick. It was quick. Like it was a squash match. Their entrances, even on the Kabuki Warrior side with Dakota, that was a great entrance. That was just like a lot of
Dakota
pop and
looked good.
circumstance.
Oh my God.
Y'all said it
Dakota.
enough in the text threads, okay?
Whew.
I've had
Dakota
enough.
Kai.
Enough now. Enough. I've heard enough.
Whew. Damn. Okay. E, thoughts on Dakota Kai or Jade or the match?
No, awesome entrances. I agree. I actually had put the match on pause because I wanted Katrina to come down and see it. I thought she would enjoy the entrance. Um, I, I thought they should have came, as you said, they should have came down when they were coming
Mhm.
down with the
Mhm.
silhouette. That was kind of cool. When they kind of did the music thing, that was a little bit of hiccup, but overall entrances on fire. The match was exactly what I thought it was going to be. To be honest with you, a little bit, it was a little bit quicker than I thought it would be, but I figured that's the way it should go. To be 100% honest with you, and I was fine with it.
I agree. Yep.
hmm
I agree. So overall, is there any other matches or anything else y'all want to talk about before we kind of just give our overall
I'm
summary
looking
of night
at
one?
my notes. Looking
I
at
think we kind of went the gamut. I think that was the whole card. I think collectively the show was really good from top to bottom. Um, Great production, a lot of fun stuff throughout the show. Within the matches, in my opinion. Um, WWE is on fire. They pulling a lot of people in that's new and old and returning. I had a cousin that hadn't watched in about 20 years, and he saw Jade and said,
He a lifer now?
"Yeah." He said, "I'm
See,
in."
I'm going tonight too.
Right.
I'm leaving in the morning.
So,
wait, they sold out, Matt.
Oh.
He's paying aftermarket prices, huh?
right. But no, I thought it was dope, man. It was a lot of fun. It was fun watching it with Cameron. He's super into it, and it's fun again. It really is. I enjoyed it.
I'll talk about the mamas real quick. Mama Rhodes dropping the bullshit line. I love that.
She thought she was still in AEW.
She,
Like, no, the only person who cuts here is Dwayne Johnson, Mama Rose. This is not. We don't do that here. We don't do that here.
And I was just happy to see Mama Rock being able to see her son wrestle again.
She looked nervous.
No. It looked like she's trying to run up on.
You saw that too?
Times.
She wanted this for
Like,
herself. She's like, I'm trying to get this tag match
Yeah.
for night 3. Let's get Mama Rose and Mama Rock.
She for sure was. There was security had to hold her back. Hey, don't know. You're not in this one.
You're not in this one.
She really was
Like
about to go follow after Rock.
For me, I thought it was a good show. I think everything went as I expected it. Outside of the tag team splitting. Did anything surprise you guys besides the Usos being unprofessional?
Jason Kelsey showed up. I love that. I love the launch
that
of
was
Joaquin. Joaquin Wild. We saw that before in NXT.
They redid the spot from NXT.
Oh,
I thought
man.
that was really good. Yep.
Super cool.
That was my first time seeing Andrade like really go. I seen maybe one match of him in AEW, but I think I like him.
He's a
I think he only
specimen.
wrestled one match in AEW.
Yeah, you ain't seen nothing yet. Hey, we got to get into maybe we're out of time today, but we got to get into Keith Lee popping up on WWE TV.
He knew what he was doing. He knew
We're
exactly
gonna talk
what
about
he
that
was
tomorrow. We're gonna give our overall thoughts because we got to talk about Heyman's Hall of Fame speech. We got to hit that tomorrow.
That was good. That was really good.
Was,
Did y'all think The
great.
Rock was kind of giving it up too much last night?
Giving it up?
Which part?
In what way?
Like selling everything, like the pauses and just being in character. It was a little cringe for me.
I think the pauses is he's Rock is more than almost any other performer wrestler. He's all about the fan.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. It was just, I don't know.
I get it.
Where everybody else kind of out of character last night.
Too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it. And please start next year. Get a Hall of Fame on Thursday.
Yes.
And make it a black tie event. I love going to Hall of Fames, but if I can't go unless like we're invited to stop the what chants and the cat calling, okay, then we'll just watch at home or wherever we are. Like some of that stuff was disgusting.
I remember when we were supposed to dress up.
But my guy took
to
us to church though. He took us to church. It was 3:00 in the morning. But he took us to church. He definitely took us to church.
I was just half asleep for that.
Few comments. Chris Bush said it was a C today. Eric said it was a B. Felix said night 1 is an A.
Yeah, I'm giving it an A.
I give it a B plus.
I'm right there with you.
I give it a B plus. It probably, honestly, for me, would have been a B minus C, but those last 2 matches, both of those were A's for me. I loved Gunther and Sammy, and I loved the tag match. So, but yeah, to answer your question, I don't think there was anything that I was surprised about. I don't think so, man. Oh,
E, what did you give
Sammy winning was my surprise.
Oh, snaps. Yeah.
That was my surprise.
Yep.
Yeah, that's definitely not what I picked.
E, what did you grade it? Night 1.
I honestly give it an A, to be honest with you.
Nice.
I was thoroughly entertained throughout the entire show. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a good time. Like I said, I'm extremely tired, but I watched.
Why Brandon laugh? Why you laugh at him?
Oh, you know.
Yeah, we talked about it.
Yeah, we talked about it. Like, yeah, I'm extremely tired, but I was up for the entire thing. I tried to take a nap during that tag match, and I couldn't because it is so much action going on in that match. I was really entertained. It was kind of like watching a movie. Like you kind of know what to expect when you go in, and I was happy for the finish. But tomorrow, I need my win. I do
think tomorrow's gonna be better than night 1. Going into it, remember I told you guys I thought night 1 was going to stomp a mole hole in night 2, just for the matches I cared about and such. Seeing how they laid out night 1, I think night 2 is going to be better. And if Cody wins, you're talking about sending the fans home happy.
Okay, besides that,
finish alone,
right?
Can
that's going to be a
show,
crazy
you know
finish,
what I mean?
though.
Yep.
Hey, last one before we wrap up. What's going to be your well, I guess 2. What's going to be your what's going to be your match of the night on night 2, and what do you think is going to be the biggest surprise from
Great
night 2.
question. And real quick, night 2 is Roman versus Cody, Bloodline rules, EO versus Bailey, Seth versus Drew, triple threat, Logan Paul, KO, and Orton, LA Knight, and AJ Styles, and then the Pride versus Final Testament. So your questions are surprise and then best match?
Yeah.
Okay. Brandon, you want to go first? Or Rhodesia?
I'm a reach on the best match. I'm gonna say the Philly street fight.
Hell yeah. There you go.
It's gonna be best match of the night. And then surprises. No, I don't have a surprise.
There's going to be a surprise.
Yeah.
Roman wins. Roman retains. That'd be my surprise.
Yeah, I don't know.
Lord.
I'm going to still lean into it, but I don't think that's happening.
Yep, that'd be my surprise.
Surprise of the night might be that triple threat is better than I think it's gonna be, but I'm not excited about it. Best match, probably the main event because it's gonna be a bunch of crazy shit that happen. If Cody wins, it's gonna be like a super dramatic,
Yes.
just it'll be nuts. And if he wins, it'll be because of he went through hell and high water for 45 minutes
and still get that finish on his own.
Yeah.
There is not going to be, I think Austin would probably be there. There's not going to be a stunner to Roman into a crossroads. No, I don't think that's happening. I think when we get that finish, he's going to win it on
middle
his
of the mat.
own.
Yeah,
he's going to win it on his own. So my surprise is going to be just who we see and how that finish ends. And then that's going to be the best match too. Now, if we're talking about like the best work match, I do think the Pride and the Testament are going to shock some people for sure. And then like if I had to pick another one, I think Bailey and EO are out for blood in regards to showing that I'm gonna put on for Bailey. Bailey, you deserve this spot. Let's go out there and do you right.
Real quick, if tomorrow night doesn't end in chaos, will y'all feel let down?
If it doesn't end in chaos and Cody wins without the chaos, I would be let down.
Okay.
I guess so. I mean, I kind of feel like that's what we're here for is the shenanigans, right? Like like if it doesn't happen, but we all know it will though. So I guess I would definitely be surprised if it doesn't happen. But for me, I think my match tonight is of course going to be my guy holding that title over his head. It has to be, right? Because that's what ruined last year's finish for me. Because that was a really good match up until that terrible finish. So I think they're going to fix that this year. And then my surprise, I think that the LA Knight and AJ Styles match is going to be
that could be fun.
That match is going to be real good anyway. I just don't care.
It's going to be a lot better than I think that match more so than the Jimmy and Jay match is going to be the match that is going to be what we like. It's going to be a really good match because they've been trying to tell a story. It's just that we haven't been into it, right? So I think that AJ Styles is going to go out there. He's going to be AJ Styles.
Oh, you can put on for him.
Even at however old he is, right?
I like the story. Showing up to that man's house, blowing a horn, and fighting at the press conference.
I'll tell you what it is
fun.
I'll tell you what it is for me.
Oh,
LA Knight needs to be challenging for a title by now, and not the world title. But that's what it is. And I just feel like this is a super duper consolation prize. And that sounds nuts to say AJ Styles is a consolation prize.
It is a consolation
prize. This is LA
prize.
Knight's first WrestleMania match. I get all that. But I just looked at where he was at all year. And we wanted him in January. And then last April, he wasn't even on Mania. And then SummerSlam, we're like, oh, here's time. And then he wins the Slim Jim Battle Royal. And then he gets thrust into, Saudi with Roman. We knew he was going to lose. He lost. And he didn't win the Rumble. And it was just like, okay, what are we doing with him? So I know that's mine. I'm stuck on that. If it wasn't for that, I would really be looking forward to it. But that's kind of where I'm at.
Hey, so this will be a question not for today because we got to wrap. Who is LA Knight knocking out of the title picture, right? Because we got the US, we got the IC.
He's gonna eventually take Logan's title.
Well, I mean, like at this Mania.
Title is that?
At this Mania?
Yeah, but we can answer that another day.
Oh,
because you said he should be challenging for a championship.
If I had to replace him, like,
got it.
He should be challenging, right? Who is he bumping?
Cody Rhodes. All right, y'all, we out of here. Thank y'all for showing up to the live post show. Y'all know how we get down once again. Follow us on X, That's 7W. We are on this Instagram. We are on YouTube. That's Freakin' W. Leave some comments. Leave the 5 stars. All of that. We appreciate you guys. We love you guys. We're back again tomorrow night, finishing the story by hook or crook. The story's gonna be finished. We'll see how
Fuck
it
that
goes down.
story.
See y'all tomorrow. Peace.